ladies and gentlemen. What's good out there, everybody? Welcome to Petty Sports Wednesday Night Edition, brought to you by Kingz Broadcasting Studios. I'm Mike Bell, baby. We got FamousFeez over here to my right, and Brother Banks on the end, bringing up the rear. Petty man behind the ones and twos, making it work, making it do what it do, making it work. Yeah, putting that work in. I'm having little issues right here trying to hear myself. If I repeat like that, I don't know what's going on right now. But hey, man, thank you guys for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. Share the show. Go out there and call your friends, neighbors, and co-workers. Let them know we on. We in the building. We get ready to do what we do. Talk big sports, football. A little bit of boxing, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know what I'm saying? Call in if you dare. You know what? I won't put it like that because we really like you guys to call in. We want you to call in, and I don't want you feeling apprehensive about it, okay? So we have a Petty Sports hotline at 678-871-9602. 678-871-9602. Hey man,
the blocks. It's gonna be a real one tonight, y'all.
Hey man, so
thing just went digital.
Hey, and that's what we want for you guys. Help this show go digital, like right now, not right now, but right now. You know what I'm saying?
Already.
Yeah, because it's going down. You know, Pittsburgh finally lost and dropped the game to a team that don't even really have a name. You know what I'm saying? So how that supposed to work? So yeah, man, check us out on Simple Radio. On your mobile device, type in that absolutely free app, Simple Radio, and hit the post 880 when you get in there. And on your smart TVs, Boxcast, and you type in Kingz Broadcasting with a Z, and you can watch us right there in your big screen TV in your she shed or your man cave in front of the crew, man. You know what I'm saying? And digest some of this grassroots petty sports information. You know what I'm saying? We keep it 100. That's what we do, man. We drinking good, we smoking good, and we thank you guys once again for tuning in. Could have been anywhere else in the world, but you right here with us, man. We appreciate it. All right, ATL ho. What it is, brother Feez?
Hey man, feeling good. It's December the 8th. If all of y'all do not remember, you see the shirt, you check the gear, see y'all love it, baby. It's the 2-year anniversary of the day that the Atlanta United, the Five Stripes, lifted the Atlanta sports curse and brought a championship to the city. So we gotta pay homage to the Five Stripes. All of my Atlanta United fans, the Footy Mob crew, all the rest of the hype folks, we'll even give y'all some love. We rock with the faction. We rock with the resurgence. I forget what the other one is. I ain't been to a game in forever. I ain't seen y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I miss my people. It's been a long time. See, my man, the petty man over there got the Run the Stripes of gear on. I got the Footy Mob scarf rocking today. We came through with it. So we got I brought the towel too. It's all good. We got everything today.
Yeah.
But who said it was a curse though?
I mean, that's like
That's just some bullshit.
That's well documented.
That's just some BS. Sorry, Mama Sharper. This is some BS.
It's well
He got
documented.
me starting already. Hey, Doc Sharper, how you doing out there? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, hey man, ain't no curse, man.
Hey, man, don't take away from the Five Stripes shine.
I think we appreciative of it. You know, hometown guy. I'm not really a soccer fan, but I'm all things A. You know,
Hey,
unlike certain people around here that carry 1, 2, 3, 4 different teams. You know, born and raised right here. Him shall remain nameless. Bobby Bell.
Yeah.
Keep smoking my petty pipe.
Hey, I mean, that's just what it is. But, you know, we just had to give them boys a shout out, man. I mean, you know, Joseph Martinez is hurt. We done missed the playoffs. Things ain't looking great right now for the Five Stripes. They're going to bounce back next season, but we paying homage to that historic 2018 run in season number 2 of their entire existence. They came through, brought the MLS Cup to the city, let folks know that soccer is a real thing. It's a whole lot of fans that came along after they went on ahead and they got that spotlight. They showed you what the Mercedes-Benz can be. I mean, hey, I was there. I posted some videos on Instagram and Facebook. Go on there and check it out. They from the moment that we actually won, you can see the celebration and the hype when they dropped the confetti and the bins. It was all the way live. I loved it. So, you know, I had to come in here with some of the hype. Vamos Atlanta. You can take it now, DB.
Vamos Atlanta. Was it Vamos ATL?
It's Vamos Atlanta.
Vamos ATL.
Espanosa.
I'm just checking. Hey, man, yeah, we in this thing, man. Back at you one more again. This is Petty Sports Tuesday this week, not Petty Sports Wednesday, man. We got some amazing things happening this week, so we had to change the schedule up a little bit. So I know we kind of caught you guys off guard a little bit, but we are in the building. Thank you for tuning in. Call a friend, tell a friend, let them know, man, as we do each and every week, man. Only we can do it with this Petty Sports Breakdown. Give it to you live and direct, good people. I'm going to go and get my petty pipe going while Feez get us started here today.
Oh, yeah. It's a heavy lineup. It looks like it's all football and boxing. Boxing world is heavy tonight. So, I mean, we're going to jump back and forth one topic to the next. Y'all do know the Cowboys and the Ravens are playing right now. I picked the Ravens to win the game, but I'm rooting for them Cowboys. But we'll get back to that. See, Zeke already eating. When he start this, you already know it's a wrap. But we're going to bring this thing on with your boy Floyd Money Mayweather Jr.
Money, 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 money.
He coming out of retirement to fight YouTube star Logan Paul. Now, take mental note. Now, this is Logan Paul, not Jake Paul. Not the same guy who put Nate Robinson to sleep. That's actually his brother.
Rockabye, baby.
Logan Paul is 0-1-1 in his career with 2 fights against another YouTuber, KSI, where he lost and had a draw. Not really impressive at all. So with Floyd coming out in this fight, I mean, clearly it's a money grab. The pay-per-view bout, yes, it's on pay-per-view. Floyd and Logan Paul is a pay-per-view event. It's scheduled for February the 20th, 2021. The first 1 million buyers only have to pay $24.99. And then it's going to jump to $69.99 after. Like late February, I think they said February the 10th or the 11th. The fight will jump to $69.99 for you to order it. So now, would y'all actually pay money to see this?
Hell no. Why?
Let's just give it, we might as well just send money, just send Floyd money on a GoFundMe or something. Send your Cash App out. That would be more effective than watching this.
I would spend more money watching street brawls on Cascade with 2 regular cats out there than pay money to see this.
Well,
I saw better fights teaching middle school.
How did you guys feel about the Tyson fight? Did anybody pay for it or go somewhere to watch it? Was it worth the watch? I
think for me, the Tyson fight was what it was, right? I don't think nobody expected them to come out and be shadows or shells of themselves. They just who they were. Yeah. 2 older guys that are still getting out there, getting at it. And I think as to the age and how they were, they put on a pretty good show.
Okay.
We still feel like Tyson was pulling punches, but
he absolutely was. He could have hurt Roy.
But it's two former world champions, multi-belt winning world champions, and not Mayweather fighting some internet sensation.
Well, I'm just saying, I remember when we first talked about that Tyson fight and it being on pay-per-view, you guys roasted me. Because I said, I wanted to see it. I wouldn't mind, I might pay a couple bucks to go check it out if it came down to it. Nothing that's extraordinary out of it.
I told you I wasn't paying for it. Yeah. I didn't pay for it.
And I didn't either. But it was pretty.
Recall when it first came out, it was Mike versus Evander. It wasn't Roy.
Well, I didn't change my mind.
It's like, okay, I'll watch it.
I still didn't change my mind.
Evander.
I didn't want to see him fight either one of them that I had to pay for.
But this guy right here, so you guys saying that there is clearly a difference in the quality of fight. If you didn't want to see Mike Tyson fight anybody, you definitely don't want to see this guy fight this YouTube sensation.
Like Logan Paul, like he just said, he doesn't have any fight credentials, anything.
Nothing.
So it's not like a Conor McGregor who was a professional fighter in some discipline, right? This guy just playing that he's a YouTuber. So great. Floyd Mayweather should be able to beat him. I ain't saying gonna knock him out, but just on points alone, this dude shouldn't even be able to touch Floyd. We're talking about one of the best pure fighters, defensively and offensively, as far as connecting for points against a layperson. What?
These YouTubers, man, they have a large following.
Yes.
If I trained to box for 2 years, that don't mean I can step in the ring with Floyd and actually touch him.
Well, I don't think it's about that. For the most part, I believe these guys just really looking for a payday.
They are.
Clearly. I mean, he has no He can't believe that he can just go in the ring and win against Floyd Mayweather, and he only
No.
been training for 2 years, and this guy
He
does
doesn't
it for a
care.
living. He just wants to go, and Floyd probably won't really punish him. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he'll probably punish. It's entertainment purposes only.
Let me tell you
guarantee
something. Here's the thing about that, right?
You think he'll knock him out like he did Nate, his brother did Nate?
He probably will because just the sheer number of hits. Like, listen, Floyd Mayweather, you watch how he touched Conor McGregor, and Conor defensively knows how to look for punch leads and all this good stuff, understands tendencies, all of that.
But he was fighting another pure fighter.
That's my point. So now you got a dude who's basically going to be a statue in the ring with Floyd Mayweather. Dude, he's going to get tattooed. I'm not even interested in it.
Floyd may play with him for 3-4 rounds just to give you a little bit of your money's worth if you even pay for it. But when he decides that it's time to be done, it's over.
Listen, man, that dude, Logan Paul, has 22.6 million subscribers. He ain't hurting for money. Like, he's not hurting for money.
Nobody with money ever is, but they're itching for more every time you see
He
him.
wants more subscribers.
But what
That's
I'm saying
this
is,
fight will bring him.
this is exactly what this is going to do to him. It's probably going to increase his subscribers probably another 500,000, if not more.
Oh, easily.
And all that does is a YouTube check. Now, you won't talk about these boxers making money. These kids that figured out how to monetize YouTube and getting videos with, 15 million likes and 15 million views, they killing. Like his last video, The Return of the Maverick, which is some crazy shit. Hey, man, 5 million views. Like, listen. Dude, I spent $150,000 on Pokemon cards, 7.5 million views. I bought a $200,000 box of Pokemon cards, 7.1 million views.
What?
He is getting paid off of this, man.
He gonna get so many more viewers even just off of this, because I have no idea who he is.
Me neither.
And I know there's a lot of other people who don't know who he is.
So, Bill, I don't know if you recall this. About 3 or 4 months ago, in our group chat, I asked somebody, like, who the hell is Logan Paul? Because some publication was going through his house, and he had all these crazy ass cars and trucks, and he had this huge ass. I'm like, who the fuck is this kid?
Right.
With this, and it was this guy.
That's right.
And he's a YouTuber. Hey, man, all this does is just, hey, man, he just go out here and get that money like Floyd. That's it.
It's ridiculous, man. So like that, since now we got Floyd and Logan Paul, we just watched Jake Paul and Nate Robinson, neither of which are real fighters. How many of these circus fights should we expect to see? It seems like this has become the new thing.
Well, that's the low that boxing has fallen to.
I don't even know. Do you think it's boxing the low?
Yeah, man. Like, how often do you see a good match in boxing? Like on a big ticket scale, you see your good fighters, but like they don't have the big names like this Logan Paul guy. He has a following outside the ring that's probably larger than your average boxer.
But
so
that's
what they're trying to bring in is a whole new entity of entertainment, whether it's real boxing or not.
Boxing is not sanctioning these fights.
That's my point. So it's not even about
These are exhibitions.
So you mentioned that it's a lull in boxing. It's not a lull in boxing. This is an entirely different lane where you might literally see Charles Barkley say, Draymond Green, let's get in the ring. And it becomes like that celebrity death match and shit they used to have on Saturday Night Live with the little clay. Yeah. This is what this has come to, right?
Exactly.
Where you want to see. So it's not necessarily boxing is in a lull. It's just something different. Just like when UFC came out. Everybody, it's not going to work. It's too brutal. Man, right now, they UFC 100 and something. It's there. There's a lane for everything. And the way people monetize things and do this stuff, there's definitely a line. I would not be surprised at some point down the line, instead of it going pay-per-view, this goes full-flown live on YouTube and do stuff like that. And because you're already monetizing this thing, it's going to happen. These different platforms are going to be able to find a way to monetize. It's going to get outside of that pay-per-view model. People now want to stream stuff, make it accessible. And if it's just a celebrity on a celebrity, Lil Wayne versus Tekashi 6ix9ine. Hey, man, where you can have, now you take your rap beef and you put it off into the into the ring.
Yeah, I mean, once they get it big enough to where it's a regular thing, and they're using big name professional
and
fighters
$1 million tickets
to get people in right now.
Yeah.
But once it moves over to that, they can just stream it.
Tell me, would you pay to see Lil Wayne and Tekashi 6ix9ine Go at it.
I wouldn't pay, but I'd absolutely watch it.
But you'll watch it though.
Oh, yeah.
You'll definitely watch it. So I think that's what it's gonna go to.
I mean, I'm gonna watch the Mayweather fight. I mean, I ain't
We're
gonna
gonna
pay
watch
to.
it because this is what we do. We're gonna watch it because this is part of our job is to watch and then broadcast and then tell about it. So I'll definitely watch. I definitely won't be paying for it, but I'll watch it.
Oh no! I mean, hell, I didn't pay for the Tyson fight, but it was very entertaining. I enjoyed it. Between that, the undercard, man, we watched Nate get put to sleep. I think that was that was a good night.
Night, Nate. Night, Nate.
Yep. So check this out. As we switch gears, I'm looking in the chat room, and you know what I don't see?
What you don't see?
I don't see Pittsburgh fans.
Whoa.
What?
Where did y'all go?
What?
It was about 16 of y'all in there last week. What? Everybody beating their chests, 11-0. We winning. Where did you go? I miss y'all.
Hey man, be like that, man.
Because the Pittsburgh Steelers took their first L. And who did they lose to?
End.
They lost to a team with no damn
stormy
name.
weather.
No name.
Time and time again.
The football team?
I won't be no fair weather fan. I'll be there till the end, even
Now,
through stormy weather.
As they
Time and time
blew the
again.
game against the team with no name, should we expect the Steelers to win out, or do they have more losses actually looming in their schedule? What their schedule has, they're at Buffalo on Sunday, then they got Cincy, Indy, and at Cleveland.
They should definitely beat Cincy. They're probably going to run into some issues with the Colts, and they'll probably run into some issues with Cleveland. I suspect I say it's probably a 75% chance they might drop another game. They probably don't need to, and if you guys remember last week, I said it would do them some justice to maybe drop one before heading into the playoffs, just to get that monkey off their back and just to feel more comfortable on the field. Because when you're hot like that, just like the Chiefs, you get everybody's best game. Even the scrubs come out to play all of a sudden.
Camilla says she's not hiding. I'm here. I'm not hiding.
She's the only one.
Mickey Ficky.
Well, they left you alone.
Yeah.
You had all kind of backup last week.
Yeah, so I think they may drop another one. It depends on how the race tightens with KC out there in the AFC as well. So this is a very crucial. I don't know. They may have put more pressure on themselves now that they've actually lost one, and they stand a chance of perhaps losing that bye. You know, so it may be more pressure on them at this point.
Well, here's a fun, interesting fact. After losing in an upset under the great Mike Tomlin, Pittsburgh is 1-5 in the game following. So when they blow a game to a team they had no business losing to, not after a loss, after an upset loss, they're 1-5. And after this upset loss, you so happen to be playing Buffalo. Buffalo is red hot.
Yeah, they are.
You could very well easily be looking at dropping 2 in a row after winning 11 straight. So I think, yes, they'll definitely have more losses looming on the schedule. I'll take Buffalo to beat them. Cincy, no, definitely not Cincy. Indy is like a coin toss because we never know what Indianapolis team is going to show up. But the Cleveland Browns look like they're starting to turn a corner. They're 9-3. They've started to actually play well against good football teams. They've had all the requisite weapons. It's really just been a Baker Mayfield thing. If Baker keeps playing the way he's playing, then Cleveland could absolutely beat Pittsburgh in that last game of the season.
They're hitting their stride at the right
jockeying
time.
for position. That could definitely happen. So, I mean, Pittsburgh may lose 2 more games. Out of 2 of these 4, I could easily see them doing that and finishing 13-3, which would
It's
be
still a great season.
it'd be a
great
great
season. 13-3 is nothing to scoff at. But I definitely could see them losing a couple of more games before they get out of there.
And another reason they don't necessarily want to lose that bye week is they need the rest, especially if they continue on a tear. You know, any team could use the rest in the NFL to rest up and heal and so forth. But they have been on an absolute tear, playing a lot of close games. Hell, even last night, they were actually really probably supposed to pull that one out. I felt like in a close game they were supposed to do better than what they did, but it is what it is. And like you said, Cleveland, they're clicking at the right time. They in that end of season stride like you want to see a team. You know what I'm saying? That's competing for postseason play, hitting that stride at the right time.
But it was a very odd game. If you actually did you get a chance to just sit down and watch it? Because I know they didn't actually broadcast it. A lot of people couldn't watch it.
Yeah, I watched it.
It's it wasn't on regular Fox, but
Didn't have to be.
both teams abandoned the run. I've never really seen anything like it. Neither team has an elite passing attack. But you look at Big Ben hoisted up 53 balls, and Alex Smith attempted 46. I mean, between the two teams, they didn't have that many rushing attempts combined. It was 35 rushing attempts between the two teams, and both quarterbacks had at least 11 more passing attempts than that. Why are they all abandoning the run like this?
And typically, if your quarterback that has to throw close to 50 balls a game or more, that team typically loses. Yeah. That's just not a good formula for winning.
You're throwing that many balls because you're losing.
It's crazy because I was giving Big Ben his props. I was around some Pittsburgh guys. Like Big Ock was in the house last night, and I was like, we was going back and forth about the quarterbacks, and I was like, well, man, Big Ben, a few weeks ago he wasn't even really in the top 25. I think he's moved up to 17 now overall in the stats category in the NFL amongst starting QBs, but he's starting to pick up his play. You know what I'm saying? He'll probably have 4,000 yards before the season is over, I would imagine. And it wasn't looking like that early on, but he's starting to hit his stride a little more. But like you said, I don't know why they decided to abandon the run. That was just absolutely crazy.
Well, the thing of it is,
you should throw for 300 yards. You put up 53 passes.
Yeah. The thing of it is, you look at they've been very defense reliable. They've been relying on their defense to bail them out, and they have done some things that did not get them in trouble on offense, right? But when you throw the ball for 305 but 53 attempts, I ain't looking too damn good, to be quite honest. He had less than a 70% QBR, 63% QBR. It's not a recipe for winning ball games.
Hey, Miss Sharper, I see you out there.
Oh, but y'all heard the alarm. You know what that means. That means it is officially 8:24 p.m. It is time to pay homage to the late, great Kobe Bean Bryant one more time like we do every Wednesday night. Count us down.
3, 2, 1. Kobe! Every week right here on Petty Sports, 8:24, we pay homage to the Black Mamba. Rest in heaven, me brethren. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Just like last night, my little nephew played homage to Kobe. He held it up and yelled Kobe.
Yeah, he
hit the game winner. 3 seconds left, down by 1, shot the ball from almost half court. Like he was at that white line in the middle, like around about the hash marks, bottoms.
Yeah, he did. All net bottom.
Who does he play for?
He plays for Leeds High School in Alabama. That is Charles Barkley's alma mater. They beat Carver High School out of Birmingham on the last second heroics of my little nephew, Chris Davidson. Shout out. Y'all go check him out on my page. I cut a little video for him so you can see the dramatics. You can hear his mama, my sister in there screaming.
Everybody was screaming.
That's my baby. Hey, it was great.
That's my baby.
Yeah.
They were going in, man. That was a big shot right there. Game time, lights, camera, action type play right there.
It was cold. That's why I had to put the Kobe music under it.
Yeah, you did. That was sweet. That's right.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh, yeah. The man, back to you, Steelers.
Y'all call in now, 678.
871-9602.
Where you at? Where you at out there, Steeler Nation? Talk to us. You shouldn't be ducking your head with just one loss. You shouldn't be tucking your tails. I mean, my goodness, you're still having a great season.
11-1. They feel like they got knocked out the playoffs. Like, you got 4 more games left.
Wow.
Relax. So check this out. This is a real. Oh, go ahead.
I want to say this though. I would say that you can't win a game. You only get 21 yards on the ground. And you can't win one. But hell, Washington won the game. They only had 45 yards on the ground. Like, this is absolutely not the way you coach up football. Like,
neither team ran the ball.
Yeah, like, hey, man, you say, hey, you win the game by establishing the run, and then you play action off of that, yada, yada, yada. Pittsburgh had a total of 14 rushing attempts. Washington, 21 rushing. This thing here was like a 7-on-7 tournament for like the Cam Newton 7-on-7 tournament. Come on,
if
man.
you were watching Washington defense, I think they're ranked number 7 in the league, and Pittsburgh's number 1. So you kind of expected a really low scoring game and probably a defensive battle in that regard, and offense was going to struggle. And Washington early on, they just kind of dominated that defensive line and wouldn't let that run ever develop. They never would really let it develop. Every time they tried to run the ball, they snuffed it, man.
14 attempts, you didn't even make a good attempt to run the ball.
Well, I'm just saying, every time they tried, it was just like nothing was there. Most of their runs were for losses.
I mean, what you'll notice, like what you watched in that game is what we've been saying week in and week out, and all the Pittsburgh fans been in here like, you hating and we won. Like, yes, you were winning the games. But what we've been highlighting is that your offense is mediocre at best. You cannot score. You rely on the defense. Your defense played well. Your offense did a little bit of nothing. And that's why you lost to the Washington football team, because you can't score. Your defense isn't transcendent. It's not a 02 Bucks or a 2000 Ravens defense. It's just a good defense.
Jamila says, yes, my Steelers were caught slipping last night, but we'll be all right. We're going to take this L and learn from it and get the 7th ring. Plus, Washington football team got more rest than you can't say we're going to get the
7.
You can't say we're going to get the 7th ring and then say that the Washington football team with a bootleg ass quarterback say they got more rest than y'all. Come on, Jamila.
Hey, you mess around Washington, they may make the playoffs, man. They may come out of that NFC division over there.
It ain't nobody in the division.
Well, I'm just saying.
Over there still alive.
Yeah, everybody. The entire, the record is 4-7. What the is
5-7 now.
They look the best right now, and I guess the Giants are a close second. But
and the Cowboys is in tie. The Cowboys might be tied for second with 3-8. Like, all of them could make it. Anybody in that division can make it.
The whole division wide open. It's sad.
You 5 games on the 500. I mean, with 2 games on the 500, you still can make the damn playoff.
My money is with the Redskins coming out of there.
But what we'll say with they're not the Redskins, first of all.
Oh, I keep doing that, man.
Excuse us, station. No, excuse us. The opinions expressed by Mike Bobby Bell are not those of Kingz broadcasters. The Washington football team is who he has his money on.
Like, we really have to reiterate this weekly these days, because he just is off the cuff. I don't know what's going on with
Refuses
Bobby.
to honor the wishes of the Native
Sometimes I
man.
get politically incorrect. I apologize for insulting anybody out there. That was not my intention. It just slipped my mind. The Washington football team. All right.
So, I mean, look at Pittsburgh from this perspective. In the beginning of the season, we're like, they didn't play anybody, so nobody respected it. Then they beat Tennessee, they beat Baltimore, they beat Cleveland. It was like, okay, you have good wins. What have we learned up to this point? Baltimore is not that good. Tennessee is not that good. So is it possible that Pittsburgh actually ain't that good? They have a great defense.
Ooh, come on,
they
Lamar
cannot
Jackson.
score.
Come on, Lamar.
Well, I mean, that being said, lead us into our next question about Pittsburgh. Will the Steelers make the AFC Championship game if they don't get the first round bye?
They won't make it regardless. They lose first playoff game they play. Well, I'll take this back. If they don't get the first round bye, they may win that first round. That definitely the division. They'll lose that one. They're not making it to the AFC Championship game at all. Like, I just don't see it in them because, again, the inability, unless they figure out a way to miraculously find a running back in a run game, it doesn't work. And one-dimensional teams don't go far in the playoffs. Just don't happen. So, if you don't have any balance, it just doesn't look well for them. And unfortunately, if you think that Ben Roethlisberger, who by his own admission, the only reason why he's back is because of the defense. He's a shell of himself. He's a shell of that Super Bowl guy. He's not that same guy, and he's doing the farewell tour right now. So all you fans of Ben Roethlisberger and all that, take a good look at him. He gave y'all one heck of a run this year. Unfortunately, it will not result in a 7th ring.
Like I say every week, man, I don't think you can discount a team like Pittsburgh with what they've accomplished this year. Even though they have the one loss that they're dealing with right now, they're very much in the hunt because of their defense. And I just mentioned how Ben Roethlisberger is starting to kind of make a turn as a quarterback, coming out of the bottom heap of the league and quarterback rankings now to starting to chug his way up the ladder a little bit more. And if that continues to happen with that veteran leadership, not saying it'll be a cakewalk, but I think you can't discount them. I believe they can make a legit run at the AFC Championship. I believe they can probably get there.
Well, I'll give it to you like this. If they lose the number 1 seed and they have to play in the wild card, they'll be the 2 seed, which means they'll play the 7 seed, the last team in. Whoever that is. Right now it's Indy. It's not a foregone conclusion that they can beat them, but however this thing pans out, you got Indy, Miami, Las Vegas, Baltimore, and New England all fighting for those last spots right there as we come down the stretch. But what it'll look like, they can more than likely beat any of them in their wild card game. The second round, they're going to end up having to play Buffalo again. I think Buffalo is going to beat them on Sunday, and they won't want to play them again in January. And that's going to be the end of the road.
Wow.
Pittsburgh, usually their season when they do make the playoffs, because if you do recall, they did miss the playoffs the last 2 seasons. It's not like they've been a trademark of making it. They haven't had losing seasons, but they ain't been good either.
Right.
But their season usually ends with an AFC East team. It's usually not that one, but it will still be an AFC East team sending Pittsburgh home, Buffalo Bills.
So you mentioned the thing about Roethlisberger and him turning the corner, right?
Oh, he said that. Please.
No, I'm talking about Bill. I submit to you, good sir, that he's only doing that because they're running right now about 299 attempts for the entire season, 24 rushing attempts for the year. James Conner has 145 of them. Then the next guy's Benny Snell with 81. And the next guy's 27, Anthony McFarland. Anthony McFarland was the leading rusher in last week's game, this week's game. They're done. They're done. And I hate to say it.
No, you don't.
And I think that, James Conner was having a good year, but they're done. Without that balance, and teams that now make Ben Roethlisberger say, hey, man, you got to beat us, it ain't finna happen. And I'm sorry. He's not going to continue on this torrid pace. He got 27 touchdowns and 7 picks. He's going to get more picks and all that because he's going to be more one-dimensional.
I don't know, man. I love that offensive line. I like the defense. I like Ben starting to take shape and form right before the postseason. I think the biggest factor for them will be the run game, like we just mentioned.
You love the offensive line that only yielded 21 yards from the run game?
Well, I mean from a protection standpoint
14,
for Big
sorry.
Ben.
14 carries, 21 yards.
From a protection standpoint of Big Ben
14 carries, 21 yards.
being able to stand in the pocket and does what he needs to do as a quarterback.
Horrible.
Terrible. If those were the stats for the third best running back for the day, it would be bad. But that was your whole team.
The entire team.
And you played Washington. It wasn't like you were up against a juggernaut that jumped out on a big lead and you had to abandon the run game. You were up 14-3. Why the hell weren't you running the football?
Well, you give him time. I was coming from that
Time
perspective.
for what?
You give Big Ben a chance.
You're up 14-3. Why are you not running the football?
Shit wasn't working. So that's all I can say. We saw it last night. If you saw the game, it didn't work. A lot of 3 and outs would have happened. If you run the ball and stick to the script like that, it just wouldn't have happened.
Come on, first ballot Hall of Fame Mike Tomlin. Run the ball.
And to another point in that game, their receivers dropped a lot of big balls. I think that was Johnson in particular. He dropped a lot, especially coming across the middle. I think he was just the way he was dropping balls, you kind of felt like he was scared thinking about the hit.
You saying allegedly punch shaving?
No, I'm just saying like I think he feared coming across the middle with the balls that he dropped.
That money on the Washington win was high.
Yeah, I mean, I think
you trying to
Vegas made a lot of money.
He point shave.
What's interesting is how the better a team's record, the more you can fall back on certain excuses. Because I've been in here week in and week out talking about drop balls, and folks be like, but the quarterback play isn't good. You don't care about drop passes until all of a sudden it's a team that's in contention, and now that's a thing. Big Ben is not the only person in the league dealing with drop passes.
Well, it played a big factor in the game.
It's amazing because you're right.
He dropped a lot. They dropped a lot of passes last night.
In 2018, when Matt Ryan got about all those interceptions because off the Austin Hooper tip drills, y'all, that's not on Hooper. Then Matt Ryan got to do a better job. Now you're saying Ben gets the pass.
I didn't say he got a pass.
I can give you
said
more.
Last night.
2019. You know who led the league in drop passes? Julian Edelman. What team led the league in drops? The Patriots, but they're like, Brady fell off a cliff. Nobody gave a damn about all those drop passes. You were just like, he's old and they suck. Drop passes are a thing. None of them got passes for it. Big Ben ain't getting no pass for it.
I didn't say he should get a pass.
You gave it as an excuse.
No, what I said was that was a big reason why they lost the game.
That's a big reason. That's an excuse.
Yep.
That's a real reason. That's a real reason. You can't win games if you're dropping big passes in the game. You just can't.
Mike, they got 21 rushing yards.
Okay, that was a big factor too. We already discussed that piece of it.
They only scored 17 points against Washington.
Washington has a really nice defense.
Washington
does not have a really nice defense.
They number 7 in the league. They number 7 in the league, man, in defense.
It's because they play in the NFC East. They're playing other trash teams.
Why are we having this conversation?
Well, I'm just saying.
Too much time.
Okay, all right.
We've given this shit way too much time. Excuse me again, Mama Sharper, but I can't.
Entirely too
Clearly,
much.
the defense is enough. They beat Pittsburgh, an 11-0 team.
Okay.
Right, they were able to beat Pittsburgh, but they got smacked by the Cardinals, smacked by the Browns, smacked by the Ravens, smacked by the Rams, lost to the Giants, the Cowboys.
Hip, hooray.
They lost to the Giants twice. They got beat by the Lions. But you telling me about their defense?
Well, you look at the offense when you look at those games that they lost. Like, they didn't really have an offense. They still don't necessarily have a great offense.
Didn't give up 30 points in all of those games.
I think most of the games they averaging 20 points. They might give up a game, perhaps defensively. So that's what I'm saying.
Are they?
The defense is doing what they supposed to do. Offensively, they will struggle, are struggling. And that will be their nemesis, but I'm still picking them to come out of the NFC West.
It's the NFC East.
My bad, damn. There we go.
But your projection there is highly optimistic and inaccurate.
Okay.
They've been giving up points. I don't know what stat it is that you're giving me saying that they're ranked that high, but I guarantee you it's not points per game. But I'll tell you an momento, because a trusty Google, it always knows.
Pull it up. Talk to me.
So what are they giving up? They're giving up 21.7 points per game.
Okay, that's what I said. The defense is doing what they're supposed to do.
That's what they're supposed to do?
That's very low for a team that's not that good offensively. Like, they holding the road. If your offense can put up at least 21 points a game,
okay,
you can win.
I give you that.
They're 8th, right behind New England.
Okay, well, I'm just saying they probably lost that ranking last night after this game.
No, they gave up.
Why would 14? They lose the ranking? They gave up 17 points in a W.
All right. Well, I wasn't far off the mark with what I was saying, man. I did my research too.
I'm sorry. What, you sensitive now?
No, man.
Sound a little sensitive.
No, y'all always want to check me, man. But
nobody's checking you. This your opinion.
Every week, man.
This your opinion.
Every week, man. No, that's a fact, bro. That was a
What's
fact.
The fact?
That they are a top 10 defense.
No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the fact that is your opinion. You welcome to your opinion.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'm quoting facts, though. I'm spitting facts.
Today?
Yeah.
So the fact is that they lost that game because he kept dropping passes.
That was a big factor in it.
Factor and facts.
Factor. You can't have factor without fact being in it.
I'm just asking. So you saying that factor is a derivative of facts?
Well, we got a next famous facts feed.
I mean, all I'm saying is they lost the game because their offense is trash, and that's not going to win you a Super Bowl.
Okay, all right.
They got a good defense, bad offense, and their defense is not transcendently good.
This
That's what it is.
This petty pipe is really paying off for me right now.
Oh yeah. So you go ahead and you go ahead and give you a nice full dosage in the petty pipe because you know where we going next. You see, I got on all my United gear, but
did we skip over some bills?
We did not.
We ain't got the bills yet. It just seems
Maybe
so long.
we did actually. No,
No, we good.
they're not there. But
No, it's not. We're not there.
Just so you know, we had a long time on the bullshit ass team. I'm
It's
sorry
like-
again,
it's
Mama
eight-
Sharper.
it's 8:41. We could just do it anyway. Mike Beasley, go ahead, pay some bills. Let them know
Give
who
us some
the
of
sponsors are.
give us some of your facts.
Hey, man, we
Tell us
appreciate you
something,
guys. It is Wednesday night. You know what I'm saying? You are tuned in to Petty Sports, brought to you by Kingz Broadcasting Studios.
I need to re-up my J-Mo
We
anyway.
appreciate you guys tuning in like always, man. Share the show. You know what I'm saying? Get your buddies on the hook. You know what I'm saying? And tune in to one of the hottest local or the hottest local podcast sports show in the A. You know what I'm saying? So get at us, man. You know what I'm saying? We still got that Petty Sports line wide open.
871.
9602.
Yeah. Call
Shit,
in,
what you
man. You know what I'm saying? Where you Pittsburgh cats at? You know, stand up for your team. We want to hear from you. One loss ain't that bad. You know what? Don't tuck your tail now. I guess if you tucked it all these other weeks when you were winning, you won't call in now. So
Unless you got a pretty tail, go on tuck the tail.
yeah, man. Go to Simple Radio on your mobile device. Type in the Post 880. Hear us there on the internet radio station. And go to Boxcast on your smart TVs. Boxcast, one word. Type in Kingz Broadcasting, and you can look at us on your TV, the big screen in your house. All right, ATL.
Yes, sir. So now we can get to the topic that y'all know. All of y'all know I was coming to it.
Uh-oh.
The New England Patriots. Y'all see it right here on the hat? Yeah, yes, sir. You know I wasn't going to let you forget that, baby. The New England Patriots beat the Chargers like an XFL team on Sunday. Destroyed them. 45-0. Even with Cam only throwing for 69 yards.
How does that happen? Wow.
Dominant performance on every side of the football. 2 interceptions, punt return for a touchdown, block kick return for a touchdown. All 3 phases of the game worked. So my question now is, sitting at 500 for the season at 6-6, what is the likelihood that the Pats sneak into the playoffs?
Give us the remaining schedule.
Remaining schedule for New England is at the Rams on Thursday, at the Dolphins the week following, the Bills and the Jets.
Shit, they could lose 3 out of the next 4. Arguably. They're one of the most inconsistent teams that are out there. And not to say that if we're gonna beat up on Roethlisberger for an inefficient offense, we can't say Justin Herbert and the Chargers did anything different, right? They sucked.
Oh, they did.
They sucked. It like you said, it looked like an XFL or a high school team out there playing. And it's not like, again, the New England Patriots just went ballistic. They had 165 yards on the ground. But is that enough for 45 point? Like, you don't even see that, dude. And not give up a single touchdown.
It was all phases. I mean,
Yeah.
It wasn't like the offense dominated or it was just the defense. It was literally the offense played well, the defense played well, and special teams played well. Like, all 3 phases played better. That's what that looks like.
Okay.
I mean, it was 43 rushes to 23 passes. They
Any
were not
special
concerned
team
with passing
touchdowns?
that ball.
Any special team touchdowns doing that one?
2.
2. See,
Punt
there you
return
go.
touchdown
There
and a
you
block kick return for a touchdown.
There you go. That has it.
Yeah. Like, special teams put up 14 points. Defense had 2 interceptions. Offense produced 3 touchdowns. I mean, that's 35 of the 45 right there.
I can go with that. I don't put too much stock in it though, right? Chargers, just had a very, very bad game.
Yeah, I mean,
Historically bad game, and as good teams should do, they took advantage of it. But I don't put so much stock in them. Like I said, they could lose very much. The Miami game next week, the Buffalo game the week following, and who'd you say the third one was before the Jets?
the Bills.
The Bills, and they could definitely lose to the Bills. So, you can look at maybe they can eke it out with the Jets, but the Jets might fool you too. They almost pulled out a miracle last weekend.
I mean, hell, they almost won the last 2 weeks. The Jets have been very close to getting their first win. The only thing that I can derive from the Chargers is not the fact that they beat the Chargers, seeing as how the Chargers are 3-9. So it's definitely not a badge of honor to beat the Chargers.
Right.
It was the way they beat them. And I only say that because the Chargers have played a pretty daunting schedule. They played the Chiefs, they lost by 3. They played the Bucks, they lost by 7. Like in these games, they put up 20 against the Chiefs, they put up 31 against the Bucks.
Okay.
They lost to the Saints by 3. They lost a 1-point game to the Broncos, a 5-point game to the Raiders, an 8-point game to the Dolphins, a 10-point game to the Bills, and then New England beat them 45-0. Nobody has dominated them that way. Nobody's arguing that the Chargers are a playoff team or a barometer for anything, but when you just start judging common opponents and competition, no team they've played has even been remotely close to dominating them that way.
I give you that.
It may just be an anomaly that New England showed up and the Chargers didn't, but they were playing on the road. The game was in L.A. It's like you had home field and all to go for that, and you got trashed. I mean, I would have to reserve until next week to see if New England has, well, not even next week, 2 days.
2 days.
Because we play on Thursday. If New England can take this game in the same stadium, because they're still in L.A., they didn't even travel. They'll just stay in L.A., play the Rams in the same stadium, exact same uniforms, hopefully the same outcome. Probably not. Definitely not 45-0, but hopefully the W. If New England can beat the Rams, then it's like, hey, they may have figured something out. But it was a very impressive win nonetheless.
Do you think they can do it without Cam having just
A little more
average productivity? I mean, you think they can continue to, and if they do, pose the same question to you. How far in the playoff would you give them if they make the playoff?
I mean, possibly a wild card win and out in the division.
You give them a wild card win. That okay?
It depends on who they have to play. If
Could there be another middle of the road team?
If Pittsburgh holds on, that would mean New England would likely, if they got in, they would be in the 7th seed, and you'd play the Chiefs first and be like, not gonna pick them over them. But if the Chiefs hold that bye in the first round, and no telling who they're going to end up actually getting in the first round. And even if it is Pittsburgh and their disgusting offense and lack of running game will be a perfect team for New England to come in and beat and then end up losing in the second round.
Did you say a perfectly disgusting team to come in and beat?
Yeah. They're all defense. New England's the least penalized team in the league. As like they're third. No, not third, but like maybe 7th or 8th or something. Like they're top 10 in turnover differential. Like the stats as a team would normally fall in line with like an 8-4 and 9-3 team, not a team that just got back to 500 that was 2-5 earlier in the season.
So right now they're in the 10th place in the AFC, 2 spots outside of getting that final playoff spot.
Yep.
Ravens and the Raiders are in front of them.
And they beat the Ravens and the Raiders, so they own those tiebreakers. So all they have to do is even those records.
Right.
They don't even have to get ahead of them because they already own the tiebreaks. That's definitely in their favor.
Okay. It'll be interesting to see how this thing pans out, though.
Yeah. I mean, even if Miami was to come down a notch, because Miami and the Colts are tied. We beat Miami the first week. We play them again. We beat Miami again. If those records end up even, we've got a 2-game lead on them to take the tiebreakers. I mean, there's multiple teams up there that we own tiebreakers on.
Hence the reason you say we're still in it, damn it.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm not saying we got this, but we're absolutely in it. It's a week-to-week thing, but it's looking very optimistic compared to... I sat right here in this seat at 2-5 and told y'all I wasn't going nowhere. Now we 6-6. Things turned around just a bit.
Very quickly.
Yeah. 4 out of 5 wins.
Without Cam playing his best game.
No. Like, if Cam plays decent, like if he throws for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns next week and the special teams don't produce the touchdowns, we can still win. You just shifted where they come from.
Look how Mike looking at you.
Oh, I mean, he's looking at me like a Falcon fan. You play the Chargers next week. Let's see if you guys shut them out.
Man, I'm just paying attention to what you're saying.
He
man.
looking at
I'm
you
just
like
listening to what you're saying,
he's
bro.
looking at you like this Mickey.
No
Fick
animosity or
lost his-
hate. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
like
this Mickey Fickett
I
done
want
lost
New
his
England to-
damn mind.
No, I'm just listening, man. Like I want to see Cam do good. You know, I really want to see him come up, man. And it's going to be a tough road to travel because they don't play. It's not a cakewalk schedule they got here for these last 4 games.
Oh,
man.
not at all. What the progression that you've seen with Cam over these last couple of games that they started actually pulling out W's over decent teams, well, some of them, he's gotten a better command over the offense and actually what to move the offense into. Switching into run plays, changing into pass plays, the way he's commanding the RPO on the offense. It's not fantasy stats, so you look at the stat line and you're like, he did nothing. Like, he sucked. He played a good game. He played within the game plan that was presented.
So are we now calling Cam a game manager?
I mean, he's absolutely managing the game. He's playing within
That's not what
they're giving him.
Well, are we giving him the tag as just being a game manager instead of the MVP type guy? He's just now a game manager.
Oh, I mean, if we had to choose between the two, he's absolutely a game manager now. He's definitely not the Cam that we saw in 2015, but he's still effective.
Effective.
Winning 4 of your last 5, definitely you can't argue that he's not been, at the very least, effective. We're not saying that
Serviceable.
he's been great.
Serviceable.
I mean, serviceable
Not
and effective
effective.
pretty much mean the same thing.
Not really, because that means that you made effective mean that you made some sort of impact on the game.
He did. He accounted for 3 touchdowns.
Now, in the last 4 games?
No, in the last game.
Okay, well, you're right.
He rushed for 2 and he threw for 1. He was 12 for 19.
He was very
He didn't throw
effective.
that many balls.
You are absolutely correct, sir. I stand corrected.
It wasn't impressive, but he was
He's
effective.
definitely effective.
Yeah,
You're right.
he did his job.
Last week.
He did
Last week.
He did the classic New England mantra.
As we say that-
Yo, job. That's what he did.
Andy Dalton just threw an interception.
Was it though?
They
Did
need
he catch that?
Yeah, he caught that. He look how far he off that ball, and the big boy rolled on it.
Oh, that's from this side.
The big boy rolled on it. Oh, watch him. Why big boy roll? Why big boy roll? He could be a tight end, boy.
Oh, that was a nice catch.
He could be a tight end.
They needed that because the field goal kicker just missed a damn field goal right before that.
Oh, it was a tip ball.
Tipped
I
rip.
thought it was a horrible
Oh, no.
pass. Who the hell was he throwing to though?
Who knows?
Wasn't nobody open.
He got a nosebleed already. Look how they patted him on the shoulder.
It was going to be a
Oh,
pick regardless.
If you guys didn't notice, it was supposed to be the reunion of Dez Bryant facing the Cowboys. But right before kickoff, Dez Bryant disclosed that he tested positive for COVID.
Oh, wow.
So that's why then down your feet, you can get in the touch. Cowboys,
What kind of tackle was
Cowboys doing what Cowboys do. Oh yeah. So Dez Bryant, if you're out there trying to keep track of what Dez Bryant doing with his old team, he's not playing. He tested positive for COVID.
Okay, so check it out. I do have one more New England question before we move. We'll make this one quick though. We're gonna make it quick. If the Patriots finish this season above 500, should Bill Belichick jump into the front of the Coach of the Year race?
I think not. I think not. I think what Mike Tomlin has done over there with this suspect offense and having them perform the way they have, I think that's a little more special.
I mean, I can say that New England had the #1 strength of schedule in the league this season.
Falcons did.
No, New England did.
Falcons had number 5 schedule.
Okay.
New England had the hardest schedule in the league coming into the season. If they finish above 500 with all those opt-outs, with Cam being out with COVID-1, and then him not playing Cam Newton level football of what we expected Cam to have, with this makeshift offense and a defense that's a shell of what it was last season, for them to come out 9-7, 10-6, despite all of that, like Bill's got to get some ridiculous credit for that.
What's my boy name over in Miami?
Oh, the brother down there?
Yeah, and the GM.
Flores,
He gets the Coach of the Year.
he came from Bill too.
But just if they make the playoffs this year, he gets Coach of the Year. I'll give it to him over Bill. Now Bill has done a great job, and you're absolutely correct. But We talked about this at the beginning of the year. Like, do we believe in Miami and this, that? And then how long before does the Tanner Friel thing go when you get to it and all those things? What they're doing down there and how they're performing, I give the Flores hands down. Even right now, he's my candidate for MVP. Coach of the year.
I mean, I think there's a lot of willing recipients and people that we could actually argue this for, and he's definitely one of them. Mm-hmm. It's just the fact that I think the level of, like they coach very good seasons and didn't have a lot of ridiculousness to deal with. I think that what Belichick would have overcome if he finishes the season there, just like last year, Tomlin losing his 3 quarterbacks and still salvaging the year to finish at 8-8. I mean, that was highly impressive for him to pull that team up by their bootstraps where they lost everybody and still make it look serviceable. You know, the degree of difficulty is what I'm giving them a lot of credit for.
I hear you. So Danny Ketch says Dez also said he quit the season. He's done for the season. Wow.
He showed up.
Talking about
He
prima
said you
donna.
can say that about several teams in the past. What is he talking about?
I don't know
We don't know.
which particular subject he's talking. Give us a call. 678.
871.
9602.
Let us know what you're talking about.
Call from a better phone this time, man.
That's your boy?
Yeah, that's him.
What's Wesley?
We getting to your boys in a minute.
He got a
Please
bunch
call.
of different aliases, right?
It seemed like it. Because he was something else before Danny Ketch, I believe.
All of them are you scared. I don't give a damn which profile you log into.
Oh my God!
Man up and call
He
it.
did say screw the Steelers though.
I mean, for what for though?
I don't know why people hate on the Steelers. I mean, listen.
No one said screw the Steelers. They said we're not picking them to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean
that's a whole different thing.
they've had a great run, and it just happened. You know, I don't think they're going any much further than they'll make the playoffs, but they'll be done quickly.
Yep. So check it out. I told you we had a lot of boxing on deck. I ain't lying. We're gonna jump back into the boxing right quick. Like
Got my girl
this
up.
one right here. This
Got
one
my
right
girl
here.
up, my girl.
Clarissa Shields. For those of y'all who don't know, she is the female champion. I don't even know what division she fights in.
FLINT. She's from Flint,
She's 165 pounds. I'm not sure what
Flint,
division it
Michigan.
is for her.
with a water brown.
Clarissa Shields says that she would, quote unquote, beat the shit out of Jake Paul.
They make them differently in Flint.
So now, should we entertain a possible matchup between Clarissa Shields and Jake Paul? Or should we just take Clarissa's phone from her and tell her shut the hell up?
Can we say Olympic gold medalist Clarissa Shields? She'll beat the shit out this boy. Now, she might not knock him out, but like we just said about Floyd and all this stuff, when you go through the Olympics, gold glove and all that, it's all about points. It's all about defense. It's all about scoring points. She gonna point his ass out, frustrate the hell out of him to where he'll go into trying to utilize his man strength to try to muscle her. But if you have not seen Clarissa Shields, understand she got a little bit of that man strength in her. Like, she got a little bit of droplets of that testosterone that's dropping off in her. She got a little bit more than your average woman.
Okay.
Got them hands.
I'm going to have to go like semi Bobby Bell on this one. If Clarissa Shields steps into the ring with Jake Paul, not only will he knock her out, she's going to be in ICU and he's going to be up for charges from the NAACP, all the women's lib movements, Black Lives Matter. Everybody is going to come up on charges to this dude for doing her like that.
Yeah.
Have you seen Clarissa Shields fight? She's a bully. She does not play defense at all. She's a
doesn't have
volume
to.
puncher.
She doesn't believe
But
anybody in her weight class can knock her out.
She don't do points. She's outweighed by at least 20 pounds. The reach advantage is astronomical. He will destroy her. He will hurt her. Hurt her bad.
What I'm saying to you, sir, is she doesn't do points now, but that's how she came up with the gold glove and the Olympics. That's how you make points, doing that. And she is a technical boxer.
Clarissa, if you're listening, if any of Clarissa's friends are listening, tell her to sit her ass down. Take her phone. She's going to get hurt. Y'all gonna have to go visit her with the tube in her nose and be like, damn, we shouldn't have let her do it. It's gonna look like Rocky, but what was it? Rocky 4, where you got my man over there. Throw the towel.
Throw the damn towel, Rock.
It's gonna be ugly.
And Apollo says, whatever you do, don't throw in the towel.
Yep. And when they get in there in the middle of the ring and square up and do the stare down, Jake Paul gonna be like, if she dies, she dies.
Man, I think that is a big mistake if they let something like that happen. But this is back to the piece where we were talking about these non-sanctioned fights. This is where entertainment in boxing has come to. It would be really interesting to see if they allow something like this to take place. And if it does, Paul will probably beat the brakes off this chick, man. I don't see it any other way.
I told you I was going Bobby Bell on this.
Bell, just last week you showed you were a chauvinist. So.
No, I just said women should probably stay in their lane with their sports and be happy with that. Don't want to cross over to the male side of things. That's an unfair fight all day long.
You a chauvinist.
All right, call me what you want. I'm a realist, man. I don't want to see women getting hurt by men. You know, that's crazy.
Jake Paul is not a seasoned fighter, but he has been training to box. He's not big enough to fight him. He's a grown man, and he's way bigger than her, and he's actually been training to box for
Well, the
quite
thing
some
about
time.
it is, well, here's the thing. Jake Paul has nothing to gain from this. He can't win in this situation. So if I'm his camp, I don't even entertain it. I don't even respond. He has nothing to gain from this.
No, he doesn't.
And everything to lose.
And she talks a lot anyway. You know, she came at Layla Ali a few months back, trying to get at her, and Layla just blowed her off.
Listen,
Hey,
we
man.
love Layla, but Layla don't want that smoke right now. Layla damn near 20 years older than this girl.
Layla would knock her out.
Layla don't want, not now. Not
She
now. No. Now that'd be
Yeah,
a
she
fight I'd pay to see.
Oh, I absolutely would, but Layla would knock her out.
Cause Layla gonna outwear the whole 9. I don't know if Layla is as technical as this girl. I would love to see it.
But did y'all see this comment in the chat? That's what I was laughing
I
at.
catch about
This
I'll
dude
take the
says,
Olympic boxing.
man, I'm working on a new phone.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Really?
What? Coaches
Working on
in
a
the
new
past.
phone. Metro giving away phones.
Well, you called in on that one last time, so you
The government
probably
giving
need
away
to
phone. Well, you must have called on a government phone.
you need to upgrade, man. Go ahead and upgrade. They got
Metro
a lot of
giving them
deals,
away.
a lot of Christmas deals out here at these cellular stores.
This is pathetic.
Well, you know what? Let's give him the number just to see if he'll try. 678.
871.
9602.
Please, sir, we implore you to call
What,
in.
are
You know?
you at the local library on the computer typing messages? What are you
Dad.
using?
Hey Desi, how you doing, love?
What's
you-
up,
you-
Desi?
You missed your whole segment. We already
Yeah,
we know you. We know you're late.
You late on purpose.
Yeah.
I'm late, but hey, y'all,
Yeah.
ha ha ha. Yeah, we know you're
We
late.
already covered the Steelers and all that right there. Couldn't get a Steeler fan to stick up. Well, we
Except
had
for
one.
Jamila.
We had
Jamila.
one.
Jamila's the only one.
She stood up
We've been
tall.
saying her name wrong.
Jamila. All right. Jamila.
Yeah, Jamila.
Like Aunt Jamila.
Yep, just like that. But she's not on the box anymore either.
I know
They getting rid of all her heritage.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. So, as much as we would love to go ahead and re-roast your Steelers, we don't have time. We're going to move it right along to another team in your division, to the rivals, and for the guy with the track phone that somehow can type messages but cannot use it to make a phone call, which is far beyond me. Never seen anything like it.
Well, he tried that. It didn't work.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how is he able to send all these messages but he can't call? What are you using?
We don't we're in 2020, so if you got like that cup with the string in it, it's not working these days, man. Upgrade.
Can we get our listeners to donate $1 to a GoFundMe to get this dude a new phone? It's pathetic. Who doesn't have a working phone? My daughter is 11 and her phone works. She got an iPhone 8. Jesus. What are you using?
Oh man.
He won't type that though. Anyway, Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns have made it to 9-3. Highly impressive.
Yeah.
Behind a convincing first half against Danny catches on Tennessee Titans. So, did we learn more about the Browns or the Titans on Sunday?
For me, I think we learned a lot more about the Titans.
Yeah.
They've been kind of sketchy all year. A lot of close games early in the season. They had a few games where they broke out and scored some points, but like right now, it's like they're in a funk. Cleveland is hitting on all cylinders right now at the right time. Baker Mayfield, that offense is working. They got a run game. Like, this is what you want to see from a football team that's moving into the playoffs part of the season. Tennessee, that's not who you want to look like right now. You don't know what you're getting with Tennessee from week in and week out the past 3-4 weeks. It's you get the Tennessee one week that you expect, the next week you like scratching your head like yesterday. Like I picked Tennessee to beat Cleveland, and they got dusted off.
Well, I would say I definitely learned more about Cleveland because Cleveland hasn't been showing up in matchups when they play against teams that are supposed to be good teams. They were up 38-7 at the half. Why I say I didn't learn much about Tennessee? Because this has become a trend for Tennessee. Down 38-7 at the half, come back, lose by a respectable score. If you didn't watch it, you'd think that it was a game. But we've seen this multiple times. Pittsburgh was up 24-7 on Tennessee. Tennessee came back and they only lost by 3. Baltimore was up 21-10 in the third quarter. Tennessee actually came back and won that game in overtime. Indy was down 17-13 at the half and ended up outscoring them 21-0 in the second half to win that game 34-17. Jacksonville was down 24-10 at the half and brought the game all the way back to 33-30, where Tennessee did pull out the win, but then Cincy smacked them 31-20. So what we can derive from Tennessee, they're easily the most inconsistent team in football, and they only usually play an average of about 2 quarters a game. They never give you a full game. They either suck in the beginning and try to steamroll back and fall just short, or they start off strong and then they fall off. They never play whole games. They've got to be the most disgustingly inconsistent team I've seen this season by far. It's impossible to pick. You see the spreads, you make your bets like, okay, well, yeah, they're better than them, but I don't know how many quarters they're going to play this week. It's like Buffalo, we assume should have beat them. They dog-walked Buffalo. They beat them 42-16. But then they turn around and get their ass whooped by Cincinnati?
Right.
Like, who are you?
Exactly. That's the point I was making. Like, the reason I learned so much about Tennessee this week is just like you said, they're consistently inconsistent. And I was expecting much more from them this season. And last week put the nail in the coffin for my decision. I'm like, okay, this is who Tennessee is. I'm not expecting them to really fare well in the postseason. So, I mean, if they make it, with the way they're playing, they might get in by the hair of their chin, but
they're
not
still leading the division.
Still not really expecting much from these guys, man. And they are a veteran team. They're pretty seasoned, and you just never know what can wake up, at the right time. And lights, camera, action, when it really counts like that, maybe they figure it out, but they just don't look like a real good football team right now.
They're sitting at 8-4. Their last 4 games are at Jacksonville, Detroit, at Green Bay, and against the Texans. So they should win 3 of those games. They'll probably lose at Green Bay, but Green Bay's rush defense is suspect, so that may be a Derrick Henry ball-out game. And it's like, oh, damn, Tennessee looks like the team we thought they were all of a sudden. I mean, they could easily win 11 games and still not be that good.
I agree.
It's ridiculous. Like they're extremely difficult to place a hand on. You really just can't call it. But on the other side, should we consider the Cleveland Browns a Super Bowl contender at this point at 9-3?
I don't know about a Super Bowl contender, but I think they will give teams some fits in the postseason. I absolutely do.
I mean, they got Baltimore, the Giants, the Jets, and the Steelers to round out their season.
Maybe a 2.
Clearly, none of us have any faith in Baltimore. I think Cleveland can definitely beat them. I expect them to beat the Giants and the Jets. Pittsburgh, last game of the season, depending on what playoff positions are look like, may or may not actually
Play to win.
be suiting up their players. But Pittsburgh may need the game. But even if Pittsburgh needs the game, if we get the Cleveland team that we saw play against Tennessee in the first half, they can't stop Cleveland. Cleveland has way too many weapons on offense. And like historically, we all know Pittsburgh has had problems stopping teams with elite spread offensive passing games. Their defense isn't any exception this year. It's just the fact that who they've played, they haven't had to worry about it. Every team, like all the good teams they've played this season have been run teams. They beat Dallas, that's all Zeke. They beat Baltimore twice, that's just straight Lamar, we trust. They beat Tennessee, that's Derrick Henry. They beat the Giants, that's Saquon Barkley. None of these teams have prolific passing games. As soon as they get into a game with a team that actually can sling it, that secondary will get exposed. Daniel Jones looked good throwing the ball against them as they shut Saquon down. And that's a far cry from an elite passer.
That's right. I like the young kid, though. I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the next couple of years, man.
The Giants are going to draft another quarterback, get rid of him.
You think so?
They ain't rocking with Danny Dimes. I don't know who the hell gave him that name. Take it away.
I think he all right, man.
Take it from him. Can't call that man Danny Dimes. Like, who did that?
I haven't even heard them call him that.
Oh, they say that. They absolutely say that.
Wow.
I'm taking it away. You're no longer Danny Dimes. Feez said it. Taking it.
You heard it here first, people. No longer call this guy Danny Dimes.
No more.
Like, we're no longer calling Paul George Playoff Paul.
No, he's Pandemic P.
Yeah.
Until COVID-19 is gone, he's Pandemic P. So he gonna keep that name for another season.
Wow. That is.
Speaking of ass whoopings,
Uh-oh.
we're gonna move right back on to boxing.
What about
I told you we had a lot of boxing.
Jamila made a comment. She said, has anybody noticed that the Browns have been doing really well since OBJ has been gone?
Hey, I got a question, though.
Yeah, they have.
So, Jamila, can you explain to me how your mother got Jamila after the I comes behind a vowel and A and then a consonant? That should be Jamila. I'm just trying to figure it out.
He is an expert on the Queen's English, so
I see.
you know, this is
That I
this is
should be
that
silent.
guy.
That I should be
This
silent.
is that guy right here, right?
So, for all intents and purposes, your name's Jamila around here.
Well,
As I was going to relieve myself, it just hit me when you said her name is really Jamila.
I would go out on a limb to say Jamila's mama is black.
But we realize
And
that.
you know our people
Just make it up how we
spell
go.
names however the hell we want to and pronounce them
How the fuck
wrong
we
as
want-
hell. That is very mild compared to some of the things that you see. I see
We love
lots
you,
of kids
Jamila. Thank you for tuning in, love.
that have all 5 vowels in their name.
Taquan
Makes no
Carriers.
sense. Like they can't spell their name until they like in the 6th grade because it
10
doesn't
years
make
old.
sense.
Taquan Carrier.
Yeah. Just use all the vowels, the Y's, the Q's. Like, come on, man, cut it out. Like, it ain't gotta be that difficult. You can be creative without being ridiculous. But that wasn't the topic.
But you know-
we moving back to boxing.
Q is not a vowel, though, but let's go.
I didn't say it was.
You said all the vowels, Y's and Q's.
I said all the vowels and the Y's and the Q's. It was a continuance of the statement.
With no comment. Now, let's go.
I mean, if I had written it, you would have seen the comma.
Oh, my God.
Don't come for my English.
Let's go.
Errol Spence Jr. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Earl.
It's Errol. It's not Earl.
Hey, look at if you in Texas, Earl, because that's how them jokers talking to in doubt Earl.
Because it's 2 R's?
Yeah, Earl.
No, it's Errol. Errol Spence Jr. dominated Danny Garcia in his return to the ring after over a year layover to defend his belt. How was Earl able to control that fight the way that he did?
I just think he's a superior boxer, right? And we all talk about it. He had a tragic accident a year ago. You know, came back and everybody wanted to see how he would bounce back, right?
Right.
The first couple of rounds, he still won those rounds, but you can kind of see he was still feeling himself out. Wasn't quite sure about the jab that he's known for, and he started to get that to flow. He's just a superior boxer. I think we get used to the big name guys that we grew up with, the Mayweathers, the Holyfields, the Pernell Whitakers, all these guys. Errol Spence Jr. is that guy in our time. He is until somebody, and he can take a punch, so I don't even want to get the Roy Jones name to him. He is that technical fighter with some surprisingly good power behind him. I kind of found out about when I was living in Texas and he was doing some local fights. Like, man, we started following. And he started getting some national pub before he won his first belt. And people are now starting to realize this guy is a straight boxer.
Yeah.
Straight South Dallas, straight boxer. And he's doing his damn thing, and it's going to come down to somebody else that comes. He may go on one of these runs like Floyd went on, to be quite honest with you, until you find another boxer with that mix of power, speed, and a jaw.
And he's aggressive. I mean, like, he set Danny up with the jab. He was using the hell out of that jab. Just pop, pop, and loading up with that left hand. He was coming forward on him the whole fight. There was really nothing Danny could do. Like, he was out there confused, like, hey, man, like, he's long. I can't reach him. I keep catching these jabs. And as soon as I try to slip the jab, that left hand come, bow.
And I don't understand southpaws. Like, he's that guy.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. But, yeah.
That left hook coming around, like he was eating his ribs up. The body blows were destroying him. Like, by the end of the fight, it's just like, damn, Danny, like, you fought hard. You got beat up for 12 rounds.
I got Jason Johnson checking in. What it do, Jason? How you doing, brother? He says, what up, Mike B?
What's happening, bro?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's just one of those guys, and I think that we don't necessarily, because like Mike mentioned earlier, we don't really take boxing. Like, it's the crazy part about it, because I'm at our spot at DDN Company. We're like, hey, man, we're going to get the fight tonight. And everybody's like, who's fighting? Earl. It's like, what the hell? Like, nobody's really hyped about this fight, but you gotta be.
They weren't. I didn't even know he was fighting. Like, but we didn't talk about it on the show last week because I didn't know he was fighting.
It was on Showtime pay-per-view or something of that nature. Like, it was kind of downplayed. But it's high time this guy starts to get his pub and his props, that he's a real boxer.
Yeah.
He's that, how Sugar Ray used to call it the sweet science. He's a technician of the sweet science, man. And I enjoy watching him fight, man, and look forward to this young brother when he gets, fully gets his legs underneath him. And stay out of them damn Ferraris, boy. You can't, they ain't made for you to drive like that on 35. It's a tragic one-car accident in that Ferrari. Probably took the traction control off, and yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, man. So the next fight logically has to be Terrence Bud Crawford. No way they can get around this. If they duck that, they're doing the sport of boxing a disservice. So assuming that this fight happens probably late, like maybe September 2021, definitely won't be early. If they do fight, it would be near the end of next year.
Yeah, 9 months maybe. Yeah, somewhere 9 months later.
Yeah, I mean, that's a reasonable date for that. Say September, October 2021, we get Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence Jr. Who wins this super fight?
Hadn't watched a whole lot of Terrence Crawford. And only because, I'm not a boxer, enthusiast. I just like what I see when I see it. So I have to go out and look at what he's brought to the table and so forth. But Errol's going to be a tough ticket for anybody, man. A tough ticket for anybody.
He fought a couple of months ago, didn't he?
He just fought
Terrence Crawford. No,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, he just fought like maybe not more than 2 months ago.
I do know that
beat the guy down like real quick. It wasn't even.
It definitely got no pub.
The commentators kept talking about the fight, and they kept bigging up the fight like, that's the fight that has to happen, and so on and so forth. So
it absolutely is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen the fight. Like, I forgot who he fought, but he put the guy down. The guy really, it was embarrassing. I think that fight probably didn't last no more than 3 rounds. It was quick. He went in there and handled his business. And watching him fight, wasn't necessarily impressed with his style of boxing. He spent like the first 2 rounds just dancing, not really throwing a whole lot of punch. I think maybe like we counted 9 punches in 2 rounds. Almost like, what are these guys doing?
Oh, well,
and right by the time the 3rd round came around, he started letting them fly a little bit, and he caught the guy. So I didn't really get a chance to see a whole lot of him, but he handled his business, and he went home with the check.
I mean, Bud has great power. He's a bull. I think his style is not conducive to coming from. Man, I don't really know whose style is actually conducive for Errol Spence Jr. I mean, if Floyd wasn't 43 years old and
that would be a great matchup.
Joke fights, then I would venture off to say that I don't think that he could beat a young Floyd. If Floyd came back right now, I don't know if he wants any part of Errol, which he's more than likely not going to do, come back and fight him.
Yeah, he's smart about that.
But it would have to be somebody of a Floyd caliber to beat him. I'm not picking anybody to beat Errol Spence. He's aggressive, he's smart, he doesn't take ridiculous chances, but he's long. It's like he's like the perfect storm. There's not many people in the game that are built to beat that guy.
Generational boxer.
Yeah, like even if you start putting up all-time greats against his style, there's not a lot of them that I would pick to beat him just because of the way he fights. He's got power, he's long, he uses his jab to set up that left hand. He's a tough draw for anybody. Like, you need a defensive tactician like Floyd or like a Parnell Whitaker or somebody to get in there and actually get inside of that to get blows on him.
Purnell.
Whatever.
And I will say this about Bud. He is.
I'll call him that.
He is more of a defensive guy. Bud is. But offensively, I don't know if he, like you say, match up well with an Errol Spence.
Well, it'd be one to see and one to watch, and one of those things where Spence need to get a new team because he should be a household name.
He should be.
He should be a household name.
I mean, I think the year off hurt him. He was really coming into his own as far as actually getting notoriety. That accident, a year and a half off, it's like, he just lost the steam.
He had a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, whichever one he wrecked.
I don't know what it was. He was driving too damn fast.
Single car accident.
Yeah, but see, speaking of the fast, we're going to come back with the Fast Five after Mike Bobby Bell give us a couple of words from the sponsors. We're going to run the rest of this thing quick. We're running short on time. We got a lot of topics.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in tonight, watching Petty Sports Wednesday Night Edition, brought to you by Kingz Broadcasting Studios. Big shouts out to Petty Man over there working it out. Got Mike Bell, baby. You got FamousFeez. You got Brother Banks on the end. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Share the show. We're looking to go digital at any second right now. You know what I'm saying? Right now. Share it. Share. Tis the season.
Your mama.
Tis the season of giving. If you watch No Name Sunday, tis the season of giving. You know what I'm saying? So be nice and to your neighbors and share. You know what I'm saying? In more ways than one. You know what I mean?
Donate $1 to the Danny Ketch Get a New Phone Fund.
Yeah, man. Y'all go check us out on the different platforms. You can go to Simple Radio, type in the Post 880. Listen to us on the internet radio station on your mobile device. That's a free app, Simple Radio. Download it. If you go to Boxcast on your smart TVs, type that in. Type in Kingz Broadcasting with a Z. You can watch us on the big screen right there. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate you guys tuning in. Back to the regular scheduled program.
Yes, sir. We're going to jump right in with the Petty Sports Fast Five. So without further ado, we actually only have 4 questions, but we don't even need 5. We got too many topics. So, man, let's jump right into this thing. The Jets fired defensive coordinator Greg Williams after a historically blown defensive call in the Raiders game. Should they just gut the whole staff at this point? Because nobody's surprised he got fired.
Well, I believe they should. Nothing about the Jets have been impressive this season. Why should anybody keep their job? Short and sweet.
Well, I got one letter for it as well, Mike. That is why. Why now? Ain't like you saving nothing. It's not like you gonna salvage anything. It's not like you probably gonna win a game. What the hell now? So now you bring even more instability into that locker room because you got a new guy calling a new defensive scheme. Makes no sense. But when you ain't won a damn game, guess what? You do dumb shit like this. So typical Jet shit.
I mean, I would say fire the entire staff. It seems like they just told the staff, like, hey, make sure y'all lose all the games so we can get Trevor Lawrence. But you're going to bring him into a shit situation, and he's not going to be able to really salvage that either.
That's why no need to fire anybody.
It's a lose all the way around. Fire them all.
Their last game is where? Their last game is where, Feez?
Their last game is against the Patriots.
In New England?
Yep.
It's safe to say nobody gets a round trip ticket on that game. Take all your stuff home the Thursday before we leave, flying over there. You can get from Foxborough back to New York pretty damn cheap.
Nobody's going to fly. They're going to drive. They're going to drive your personal car.
Tell your wife to get the SUV and meet you in Foxborough because ain't none of y'all getting on the corporate jet coming back home. Understand it. So why fire one guy now like he the problem? Get the hell out of here. Dumb it. Stupid he is and stupid does.
Very stupid. Question number 2. Should we be concerned with the Chiefs' narrow victory over the Broncos, or was it just a tough divisional game?
I think it was a tough divisional game. We all know how those go. I don't think anybody's worried about KC advancing and doing what they do.
I think the problem you're going to have is, no, you're not worried about that. The league need to be worried about the fact that Tyreek Hill is learning how to run routes. And he's not just a speed guy. He's figuring out how to sit down inside of defenses. He's figured out to get the stuff underneath and then use his speed to get out there. They're using that kid all over the field. And in these games like this, these divisional games, and you look at it and say, yeah, he's a speedster, he's this, that, and the third. But when he starts running routes like, say, a Calvin Ridley or who, we talked about it last week about people saying he's the best wide receiver in the game.
Yep.
You watch his progression over the last couple of years. He's not just relying on his speed now. And he and Pat Mahomes got the Mahomes working. They getting that timing down. They getting that sync down. That's going to be a problem when you already got the fastest team in the league. So, we're not worried about it.
No, definitely shouldn't be worried about it. I mean, Denver has played, actually, a lot of good teams really close. I mean, if you remember, they played Pittsburgh really tight. Pittsburgh beat them by 5. The Chiefs beat them by 6. The Chiefs did play them twice. The first time the Chiefs played them, they beat them 43-16. It is a heated division rival, and playing games in Mile High Stadium is not easy for anyone. The altitude is ridiculous, and it seems to be that anytime a team goes into Denver, they struggle just because they can't breathe. So, no, I'm not concerned with that game at all. So, move on to the next one. How does Seattle lose to the New York Football Giants?
That's a tough
How the
one.
hell did that happen?
You know what? I have nothing for that one. I don't know.
I'll tell you how it happened. You're too dependent on Russ. In Russ, we trust. And your defense is suspect. Out of all the teams with playoff contention, this is the one defense. We talked about the Pittsburgh stealing their defense. This defense here is the most suspect defense there is. So if you continue down this in Russ we trust, you're going to mess around and get your feelings hurt.
Yeah,
That's how you lose to the Giants.
Earlier in the season, they told us that this Seattle defense was the worst we've seen since the 62 Raiders. I mean, just for context, that's before the Super Bowl era. First Super Bowl wasn't until the 66 season. I mean, that's god-awful terrible. In the 50-year history of Super Bowl era, well, 54 years, we've never seen a defense as bad as Seattle's. I mean, the Giants ran all over them with a bunch of replacements. They had Deion Lewis out there killing some dudes that I never heard of. They had a backup quarterback, backup running backs, all backups, and they still couldn't stop them. That's how bad Seattle's defense is. They literally lost to the replacements.
Hence the reason why people keep talking about the Pat Mahomes, the Aaron Rodgers run for MVP of the league. It's Russell Wilson.
He's absolutely the most valuable player to his team, but they're not winning enough for him to get it.
Yeah, it's Russell Wilson.
And we've talked about their defense all year long, how bad it is.
Yeah.
So it's just, I guess maybe that's why. Because their defense is just absolutely terrible. And has been terrible, not just this week.
So if you tested positive for the game, why are you on the sideline?
Yeah, he shouldn't be there. Dez is sitting out there on the sideline, and that's disturbing.
It's a fine coming.
This man has COVID, and he's at the game on the sideline.
Who?
Dead
What
Brian.
the hell?
Well, that same thing with your boy from Clemson. He tested positive and he was on the sideline in college for that game that they lost.
Guess they say you wear a mask, you good, huh?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Damn. Man, last question on the docket before we keep it moving. Justin Jefferson, wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings, if you didn't know. That is the kid out of LSU who was a part of that historic run last year in college football.
Gave it to y'all, boy.
Is not only trending towards Offensive Rookie of the Year, but it looks like he's trending towards all-time great wide receiver status. You agree or disagree that he could be the next up in a short list of all-time great wideouts?
Given that they got Dalvin Cook over there and the running game is premier, and defenses are hell bent on trying to stop that, so he's getting a lot of one-on-one coverage and things like that as a rookie, right? I think as he goes down in career and he becomes more of a focal point of a team like that, teams will start to scheme against some roll safety help over the top, and they're going to start doing that as you get towards the end of the season as well, right? So it's still too early to say that. Rookie of the year, yes. All-time great wideout, we don't know. It's just too early to say.
You think he'll be Justin Herbert?
I mean, Justin Herbert's record is so bad, it doesn't matter how good his stats are. At 3-9, other positions are absolutely in play. If Justin was taking that team to a 500 record and actually had a chance at making the playoffs, then he'd be a shoe-in for it.
Because, like, everything I'm reading is saying Justin Herbert is, right now, this week, he's the favorite to win the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
He had 200 yards and 2 interceptions last week.
Thank you.
That completely...
I'm just saying that's
if that's what they thought before coming into this week, he absolutely took several steps back after that performance at home against a New England team that no one is worried about. It wasn't like it was the 2014 or 2017 New England that's running through people.
They got goose egg.
This is the 2020 version of New England with a Cam that we're not sold on, a defense that's sometimey, that is relying upon a coach, and you got beat 45-0.
You can't.
No way you're winning Rookie of the Year getting your ass whooped like that against that team.
Well, you can't win Rookie of the Year. You got goose egg and almost gave up 50 points to your team. There, you got goose egg.
Yeah,
It's not going to happen. And you had so many passing opportunities because y'all gave up on the run early.
he threw a lot of balls and did nothing. There's no, he's not getting it. I think Justin Jefferson is absolutely a shoe-in to get that Rookie of the Year, and he's also absolutely trending towards being an all-time great. He's playing on a bad team and with a very sometimey quarterback. He's putting up, I mean, he's only second to Odell Beckham Jr. right now for his rookie season, and he's playing with Kirk Cousins. I mean, that's gotta say something.
Of all people.
Odell is the first of all time, another LSU guy. He's a couple of yards ahead of Anquan Bolden, and he's ahead of Randy Moss. I mean, like, you can't scoff at his numbers at all.
I don't think anybody will scoff at the numbers, just about the longevity, right? I mean, it's right now you got your guy in
Kirk
New
Cousins
England.
isn't even having a great year, but he is.
You got your guy in New Orleans, Michael Thomas. And for the longest, people talk about, just splash the pan. But he's shown consistency as being one of those guys. Even though now people want to talk about he's a product of a system which they do the dink and dunk system and he does all that. Yeah, but he's a damn good receiver. And I think this kid just got to put together 2 or 3 seasons coming out the box to do that before we start talking about all-time great wide receivers.
Yeah, well, I guess just for context, the top 4 class that he's in with Odell, Anquan, and Randy, all 3 of them won Offensive Rookie of the Year. And he's trending to go for more yards his rookie season than all 3 of them.
I like it then. Yeah. I think he'll do well with that. And he should.
Yeah, he absolutely should.
And to your point, that Rookie of the Year should be somebody that comes out that rookie year and not just excel, period, but kind of puts himself in a conversation. At least that first year is an all-time great, right? When you get Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
because at that
forced his
position,
combo.
you're just that guy. And you shot through the league and you done your thing. So,
He
yeah, I like
absolutely forced his combo.
That he has done.
Yeah, definitely. Y'all, that does it for the Fast Five. We're going to keep this thing moving because we got 25 minutes. And, we still got to cover the picks for the week. Got 2 more topics. We're going to hit them bad boys real quick, so don't talk too much about these because, we actually, they played the Falcons. It's not part of the topic, though.
I don't care. We can move past this one.
Behind another electric Taysom Hill rushing game and defensive mastery, the New Orleans Saints are now 10-2 sitting on top of the NFC. Are the Saints actually capable of reaching and or winning the Super Bowl as currently constructed with Taysom Hill running the offense?
No.
I think for me, man, if we talked about the other teams and how they look offensively and defensively, your Pittsburgh, your Seattle Seahawks, and you compare that team to guys like that, New Orleans is very much in the conversation. Now, how far they go with Taysom Hill, I have no idea because every week he seems to pull it out his ass and they come out shining and they have a legitimate defense. The defense that showed up here in the past 4 or 5 games, they've been running the table on teams, man. Like, they're giving people fits. And if he does enough to be a game manager, they can pull it off.
Yeah, man, I think they absolutely can be a legitimate contender as currently constructed, just for the same reasons as you said. It's because of the defense. The way the defense has been playing, their stats for the season don't amount to it. But I can, without question, say that right now, the Saints have the best defense in the league. There's not a team that they can't stifle or shut down. If their defense continues playing this way, moving on into the postseason, they don't need Taysom to do much. He's not doing a lot. He's just making a couple of plays here or there. He's running, controlling the clock, getting first downs, continuing drives. There's not a lot of teams that contend with that because most of the teams that they have to play have extreme difficulty like constructing a successful offensive game plan when you get pressure on their quarterback. With that being said, the offense doesn't have to do much.
Well,
Green Bay looks bad when Aaron Rodgers gets pressured. Tampa Bay is god-awful when Brady gets pressured. Who else are we looking at in the NFC, really? The Rams, they have a very good defense. Their offense is sometimey. The Rams will probably be the biggest obstacle that they have because their offense isn't really contingent upon how well Jared Goff plays. But they have lots of weapons, and they have a really good defense, and they can shut the Saints' offense down. I think the Rams are the biggest obstacle for the Saints, and they have demons from that no-call pass interference, so they feel some kind of way about them.
I just don't think that Taysom Hill is the answer, right? And hats off to Sean Payton, right, for doing it again with the backup another year. I just don't feel like at some point the Falcons failed to do it, and that is play the underneath stuff. He didn't throw a deep ball. He didn't do any of that. He does it with his legs, and then he has Alvin Kamara and he has Michael Thomas that he relies on tremendously underneath. Think that when you look at it and you say, okay, hey, you can get at these guys and you can do it a phenomenal way by bringing in your defense and not playing the deep ball. He's not beating you deep. He's beating you with Michael Thomas underneath, Alvin Kamara in the run game, Alvin Kamara in the short passing game, and then he runs the ball. So I think over the next couple of weeks, defenses are going to now start stacking the box a little bit and daring Taysom Hill to beat me deep. And that's going to be the problem. And then that's when Sean Payton's got to go into that bag of tricks and come out with something that said, hey, this is what we're going to have to do. We're going to open up the playbook just a little bit more in order to beat these teams. I just don't see it happening.
I mean, they got a nice little run coming up, man. They're at Philly this week. They got the Chiefs, the Vikings, and the Panthers. None of those are easy games, especially seeing as how Philly is now starting Jalen Hurts, and you ain't got no real film on them. So that's going to be a difficult matchup.
I like Hurts C.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's actually our next topic. So, I mean, we're going to finish this one up. We're going to jump right on to Jalen. So, are we ready to go ahead and just give Sean Payton the majority credit for the success of the Saints during the Peyton Breeze era, seeing as how in the 8 games that Drew Brees has not played in, they're 8-0.
I think definitely so. Sean Payton has always been a really good coach to me. He's cocky. You know, a lot of people don't like him because of that. You know, he has that edge on him to be a coach. He takes chances, has a lot of confidence in his guys, and they thrive and eat off of that, man. Like, that's what you want from a coach, man. I would love to have a coach like him here in Atlanta. I think he deserves all the credit that's coming his way and that he receives.
Oh, yeah, man, I absolutely agree. Sean Payton should definitely get more of the credit than Drew. I mean, Drew is still going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but it's absolutely attributed to the fact that he was fortunate to make his way to New Orleans with Sean Payton. Because he was not balling like that when he was playing for the Chargers. They got rid of him for Phillip Rivers. They shipped him off to the Saints, and then the marriage with Sean Payton was the best thing that ever happened for Drew Brees. Sean Payton is one of those all-time great coaches. You see the season that he got suspended after the whole Bounty Gate thing,
Cheater.
the Saints were terrible.
Cheater.
And then he came back and they started winning again. So we'll definitely give Sean Payton credit. Most of the credit, actually.
Yeah, and the fact that he brought over the offensive coordinator from San Diego with Drew Brees, and he had the consistency. But it is definitely Sean Payton.
Oh, yeah.
He is definitely that guy. And what Bounty Gate or what have you, he knows how, and he figured out a way to inspire guys to get out there and get it done. Saints have always had a pretty good defense. This year, they're just lights out. But they've always been a pretty good defense, very aggressive and so forth. And then with Drew Brees behind that helm, they're doing it. Now you figuring the fact that they had your boy out of Alabama that's now at Baltimore running the ball. Then you bring in Alvin Kamara, and it's like, shit, they just keep finding the right pieces. Oh, and absolutely. It's a symbiotic relationship between the AD and Sean Payton as to what kind of players they want in there, and they get it done. Still can't stand them, though.
Yeah. All right, so, man, we're going to hit this Jalen category real quick like before we get into these predictions. So check it out. We already now have confirmed that Jalen Hurts will be starting next week.
Yes.
So now with Hurts starting, can Philly win the division and make the playoffs?
I hope so.
I think it's a stretch. We don't know what this kid is capable of just yet on the NFL level. With what Washington is doing right now and how they're playing defensively, I think Washington may pull it out, man. I don't know if Philly has enough.
They got a tough run of it. I mean, they play the Saints this week. Then they got the Cardinals, the Cowboys, and the football team, which we've seen 3 of those 4 games are definitely going to be difficult. And Eagles-Cowboys is always a dogfight, regardless of how bad either of the teams are. So all 4 of those games are tough. If Jalen can come out and win those 4 games, he'll have solidified his position. Carson Wentz will pretty much be on a trading block, and the Hurts era will have officially begun in Philly.
If he wins so outside of Washington and Dallas, let him win one of the New Orleans or the Arizona games. Wentz is gone. It's done.
Told y'all he shouldn't have got that big contract.
He needs to be gone anyway.
He needs to be gone anyway. But let Hurts come in, and this is the perfect storm for a weekend. We've seen it week in and week out in the NFL, right? New guy comes in, new coach comes in, what have you, and all of a sudden now, bam, the Jalen Hurts era comes in, and now Jalen Hurts gets going, right? I honestly think that this kid may have an opportunity to knock off the Saints this weekend.
He could.
It'll be one of those welcome to the NFL type deals, right? Between his legs, his athleticism, and then utilizing just, the fact that they don't have a whole lot of film on him.
And he can pass.
Yeah, now. And he can pass. That was a knock. I was one that said it here, right? Tua deserved to beat him in Alabama. Tua was a much better, more of a seasoned passer in Alabama than Jalen Hurts was. Jalen takes his bag, he takes his ball, and he goes over to Oklahoma, and he says, hey, I'm going to figure out, and he and his dad being a football coach, we understand what we have to do to get better and then to make it to the next level. Now he's there. Let's see what he does. And I truly believe the type of kid this guy is that the fact that he's a competitor. And that's the one thing you can't take away from an NFL quarterback. Russell Wilson has proven it. Pat Mahomes is proving it. Lamar Jackson has proven it. Now, and your kid Deshaun Watson is proving it. Now it's Jalen's turn to say, hey, I'm a flat-out competitor, and I got the skills, I got the speed, I got the arm, I got that heart, that ticker. He's going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem in the league for years to come.
Yeah, man, he learned how to pass sitting behind Tua. And then he went to Oklahoma, was a Heisman candidate, and showed you that he could throw that ball. But he also is still a prolific runner.
Yeah.
I mean, he can do big things in the league. Now he's finally getting a chance. I'm expecting big things out of him.
13 minutes.
Oh, yeah. We know what it is. That's how we got the Week 14 predictions. We right on schedule. Shit, we move through these things. In Week 13, how did you do? There was 15 games before you start counting funny. It was 15 games.
Well, they still playing one. So
this one here.
This is game number 15.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said he's still playing one. So, right, so far I'm 8-6.
If Baltimore holds this out, I'll be 9-6. If they hold this.
Yeah, Baltimore wins, I'll be 9-6.
Yeah, like, I'm 9-5 right now. I'll be 10-5 if Baltimore wins.
Okay.
But I would like for the Cowboys to win. Only for selfish reasons of New England's playoff positioning. But I definitely didn't pick the Cowboys.
What you need?
I just want them to win. That's all.
Okay.
So, man, let's move on into Week 14. First game on the docket is my very own New England Patriots playing in L.A. in SoFi Stadium against the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are favored by 6.5 points. Who you got?
I'm going Rams, man.
Okay.
I'm going to go Rams with that one, and I just don't have any confidence in Cam and his group over there.
Oh, man, it's a tough one for me. Very tough because the Rams are up and down. You just never know what you get every week. I think I'm going to ride with them, though, man. I think I'm going to ride with it. If my money was on it, much as I want to see Cam shine, I think the Rams pull this out. Probably going to be a real grimy game. It's a 6.5 point spread. Probably be a little closer than that.
Yeah, man, I can't argue with either one of y'all picks, but I'm taking the Pats. They stayed in L.A. They balled out against the Chargers. They riding on a high. Even though it's a road game, it's not like a road game for them because they ain't go nowhere. They've been sitting in L.A. since last week when they're preparing to play the Chargers, and they knew they had multiple games at SoFi Stadium against both the L.A. teams. I think Belichick has a great game plan on how to stifle the Rams' offense because we saw it pull it out. I don't really know how they do it. It's going to be unorthodox. It's going to look funny, but New England's going to win.
Yeah, they're going to need a lot of Cam to do it.
They'll make it happen. So we move on to the Sunday slate. The Houston Texans at the Chicago Bears. Houston is favored by 1.5.
I'm taking Houston.
I'm going Chicago.
Going out on a limb, taking Houston.
I'm going Chicago.
Chicago sometime, I mean, in that cold weather at home, you would assume Chicago should win, but Houston's hard to gauge. I mean, Deshaun, I think he'll have a game. I think Deshaun Watson is going to win the game for them. I'm taking Houston.
All right.
We got these Dallas Cowboys that we're watching playing the Ravens right now in Cincinnati next week. The Cowboys are favored by 3.5 on the road.
I'm going Dallas, man.
I chose Dallas, man.
Oh, I'll definitely take Dallas against a quarterbackless Cincy. We're not picking Cincy to win any more games without Burrow. That's the easy one. Green Bay at Detroit. Green Bay's favored by 8.5 points.
Green Bay.
Listen, man, the Ford Field monster will come up and bite Aaron Rodgers in the ass. Divisional game. I'm taking Detroit.
That's pretty bold just on the actual pick. I would take Detroit with the points. I think Green Bay is going to win the game. They will not win it by 9.
Okay.
That's what I will say. They're not going to beat Detroit by enough to cover that spread. Now, here's a very interesting matchup. The Kansas City Chiefs at the Miami Dolphins. Chiefs are favored by 7.5 in South Beach. Who you got?
I got the Chiefs.
I'm going Chiefs.
Now, y'all understand, Miami is a tough matchup at home for the mere fact that everyone else is dealing with sub-zero temperatures, and it'll probably be about 85, 90 degrees in South Beach.
I'm still going Chiefs.
It takes a toll on your body. I think the Chiefs will pull the game out, but as I said for the last game, I don't think they cover that spread. I think the Chiefs win, not by 8. We got the Arizona Cardinals at the New York Football Giants. Cardinals are favored by 2.5.
Going with Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, I want to find a case for New York because New York has really been coming into their own, but I got to take Arizona. Man, looked like I'd have took the road team on every game this week so far.
Me
Interesting.
too.
That's different.
Except for 2. For me, I picked the.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
so far,
moving
yeah.
down the stretch.
Well, I took Chicago and I took Detroit.
We've done 6 games. I've taken 6 road teams.
I took Chicago and I took Detroit. Everybody else been road games so far.
Minnesota at Tampa Bay. Tampa is favored by 6.5 at home.
Minnesota. I stayed with the road on this one.
Nah, I'm going to take Tampa on this.
Yeah, I got Tampa.
Tampa ain't losing to Minnesota. Denver at Carolina. I was about to call them the Cardinals just because it said car.
I got Carolina.
Panthers are favored by 4.5 in this game.
I got Carolina.
Yeah, I got Carolina too.
Yeah, I mean, Christian McCaffrey's supposed to be back this week, too. I'm going to definitely take Carolina. That might be a coming out party for them. Tennessee at Jacksonville. Titans are favored by 7.5.
J-Ville.
Oh, you're taking Jacksonville. You say you absolutely don't trust Tennessee.
Sorry about it. I got Tennessee. Sorry, my bad. I said that wrong.
I picked Tennessee as well.
Yeah, I'm taking Tennessee reluctantly. Like, them scrubs just show up whenever the hell they feel like it. They're hard to call. And we got the Colts at the Raiders. The Colts are favored by 2.5 in Vegas.
Going with the Colts.
I got the Colts as well.
I'm taking Vegas. Give me the Raiders.
Going with Chucky.
The Raiders.
The Raiders.
Yeah, the Colts, you know, they're sometimey too. I think this will be a game where Phillip Rivers throws a couple interceptions. Their run game doesn't do what they're supposed to do. Derek Carr finds his own ass again for another week. It happens.
Derek Carr has a very nice Porsche. When I was in the auto industry, I was out in San Diego.
I was worried about where he was going with that.
Yeah, he has a
after
very nice Porsche, man. Yeah, listen. It's a custom 911. It's a custom 911 Porsche, man. It's beautiful. Go ahead.
Okay. We got the Saints at the Eagles. Saints are favored by 6.5. Are you going with Carson Wentz? Or are you going to ride with Taysom?
I'm going
No,
with
what you
Philly.
mean Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts, yeah.
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
And I toyed with this, man. I really did. And I think Lattimore going to bounce back out there. Ridley Torch is behind this week. I think he shuts down their number 1 receiver in Philly, whoever the fuck that is, right? And I'm going to go with New Orleans with that, man.
Yeah, I'm taking the Saints. I mean, I do hope Jalen balls out, and I'll be rooting for him to actually pull it out. But
And I hope that's one I lose. I hope that's one I lose.
I don't think he can do it. I'm taking the Saints.
I said the Saints.
Oh, okay. You called it already. I missed that. My bad. We got the Washington football team at the San Francisco 49ers
Atlanta.
in Glendale, Arizona, because that's not going to be at San Francisco.
Atlanta game.
Oh, yeah. I picked it and I skipped it. My bad.
Wow.
I made my pick, but okay, I'll make it better for you.
Wow.
You got the Falcons at the Chargers, which I don't even see how. Oh, because the Thursday night game is in L.A. So we got 2 games in L.A. this week. The Falcons will travel to SoFi Stadium to play the Chargers. Falcons are favored by 2.5. I picked the Falcons. That's why I moved, because
I don't know what to expect out of this team, man. I'm going with the Chargers, man.
they just got beat 45
Just
to
out
nothing.
of spite.
Yeah, out of spite, man. Out of spite.
And he's called himself a Falcon fan, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Well, they not a favorite. Like, they don't do shit for the fans.
Okay.
They don't give us nothing to cheer for.
Well, we got the Washington
the
football
Chargers
team
do.
at the San Francisco 49ers in Glendale, Arizona. 49ers are favored by 4.5.
Give me San Fran and shitty hand.
Yeah, I'm taking San Fran.
Yeah, I'm taking Frisco. I mean, Washington looked good. Pittsburgh at Buffalo. Pittsburgh is favored by 2.5 on the road against the Bills.
No linebackers in the Pittsburgh's. Defense goes on a 2-game losing streak.
Wow.
You got Beasley.
I picked Pittsburgh, man.
Oh, you think they're going to bounce back?
I think it's a good chance they will. It's going to be a tough game. I really do believe
They bounce back like State Farm actually offers the Pat Mahomes discount.
Non-existent. Upset loss. 1-5. It's going to be 1-6. Buffalo is going to win that game at home. I really actually need for Pittsburgh to win the game, but they're not going to win the game. Buffalo will take out Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh will watch in the night. Baltimore at Cleveland. Baltimore is favored by 1.5.
Be more.
Cleveland Browns, baby.
Yeah, I'm with DB on this one. I'm taking when they play Baltimore at, and I think nothing changes, especially as well as Cleveland's playing right now. Cleveland's going to hand Baltimore their ass. Baltimore has regressed in Baltimore. Pounds.
Predictable.
Less than 2.
Give me the dog pound.
Predictable.
Petty Sports. We appreciate everybody who tuned in, rock with us. Knew we came a day early. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm on all of them. Don't cash at me. Go fund me, Danny, to get him a new phone so he can call.
Hey, Jason Johnson, man, he hadn't played a fan speed, baby. This guy learning how to catch the ball and run routes. Out. Holla at you guys next week, man. Happy holidays, man. And call your strong friends, man. Bless somebody.
Yeah. Wins 2 at the end, but he pulled it out. Go to kingsbroadcasting.com, buy some merch. Yo, ho.